and welcome to another edition of Onside SA, where Budge and I are going to take you through all the latest football news, the upsets. But as per normal, we start with last one standing, and it's going into its 10th week, I believe. Is that right, Budge?
11th week. Paul, we've had 10 rounds.
We've had 10 rounds. I knew it was something like that. I just want to touch on what's happened, Budge. We had 99, we're down to 76.
Yeah.
I'm just going to touch on the teams. The guys know who they took. Aston Villa, 48 went through. Arsenal, 17. Liverpool, 7. Bournemouth, 3. Man City, 1. The guys who went, Brighton, Chelsea, West Ham, Burnley, Newcastle, Wolves. Wolves nearly went through.
Nearly went through, Paul.
Nearly went through, very interesting. Okay, always the best part. So we've got 76, of which we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 girls. Very good. The 9 girls are Pauline Young, Linda Potts, Ancilla Jackson, Cindy Riddell out of Texas.
Yeah.
Starlene Hoosen.
She works for Gary Green.
Yeah. Oh, for Decoy Doug. Eh? Tracy Nell. Kerry and Jocelyn Everett.
Yeah.
And Blair Miller.
Yeah, that's Willie's daughter.
Willie's daughter. Where is Willie these days?
No, he's still in town. He's around selling
the midfield player.
Midfield player, yeah.
Oh, okay,
and his wife Sue, she was the last women's champion, so they're trying to keep it in the family.
They keep it in the family. Now the internationals left. It's always good to get our international friends. I want you to just fill me in which countries, some of them that I don't know. Jack Power, where's he?
Jack Case, I think Kevin's dad, Fulham man. He got Colin the tickets for the
Steve Potter.
Yep, he's in Brighton.
Derek's in Wales, Derek Ramsey, Neil Horsman's in London.
Yes.
Ashley Rushton's currently in London. He's come out of Paris, and Ashley Rushton will be going back to the Americas.
Yeah.
Steve Griffiths, where's he?
He's in the UK.
UK. Your brother Ian Byrne, where is he?
He's in America, New York State,
New York
Oneonta.
State.
Yeah.
Gary Spencer, the Chocolate Man.
Chocolate Man's in London.
London. Stevie B, international
pundit. He's in the studio, yeah.
He's in the studio. Mark Rogers.
Roy's brother. Mark's a toad favourite. He's in London.
London. And then Harold Rinkin.
He's in Wales, yeah.
Our last part, but it's the former champions.
Yeah.
Ernie Wallace Skip. He
won the first one, yeah.
Sean Matthew, he's always in the scrum.
Yeah.
Well done, Sean. Hassan Moore, another one who's always in the scrum. Sean Phillips, another guy. Brett Galley.
Yeah. Joburg gentleman. Yeah. We're going to Liverpool, Fulham of Liverpool, Man City later in the year.
Box 33.
That's Hilton Witz under pseudonym, yeah?
Pseudonym. Speak English, you Philistine. And then Derek Ramsey out of Wales. Previous winner, Derek.
Yeah.
Now you run through the entrance remaining.
There's only 4 guys with multiple picks.
It's not that now we see how good they are. Now we see how good they are.
Anyway, we've no mentioned their names, but the guys, the South African guys that are still going, I'll read their names because after 10 rounds, Paul, they're worth a mention. We start off with Colours gone. Colours is gone as usual. Graham Bird, Mark Fuljoen, Bruce Armstrong, Eric Narak, Paul Trethaway, Rion Diaga, Willie Miller, John Finlayson, Sky Shabalala, Mark Marinkovitz, Jeremy Fleming, James Rich, Jason Nell, Lawrence Verners.
Can I ask one question when I go through this first sheet? Does Eric Narak...
he's in Cape Town.
I spoke to he's not international.
Hasn't gone yet,
Okay,
I messaged him last week. Eric's in Cape Town at present.
Paulo De Carmo. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. John Finlayson, my mate. Lawrence Werners, my mates. They're hanging tough.
They're hanging in there, Paul. So is Paulo De Carmo, Gar Bowman, Derek Conway, Matthew DeToy, Keith Story, Beto Quintus, Jeff Ward, Phil Giorgio, surprisingly. Still going. Sawa Khan, Dean Grove, Conrad Ruiz, Sean Harper, Mark Haddon,
the chemist,
Tony Bargate, Steve Miller, Graham Hawkins, Rodney Boyson, Southampton Rod, Dario de Almeida, Kevin Rice, Ernie Roper, the last Spa Postnet guy, Robbie Talon, Keith Airy, Gavin Radford, and Bodrum, Michelle Narak, Greg Petzer.
Yesterday, happy birthday to the CEO.
And Greg Petzer, Kevin Shea, and the one and only Paul Lafferty. Can't believe it, you're still in.
I'm still in. I'm hanging tough, but I see the legend, Kevin Shea, still there.
Oh, Shea's hanging tough.
Some of my great mates gone through.
Now, Paul, some guys have asked me when the next competition will start. So we'll have a look after this week.
Yes.
And then we'll make a decision from there. And a lot of guys are pining to get back in.
They're crying. Some of them went first week.
I know. Won't mention our man Garth Whitehead. So, but anyway, guys, 12 o'clock Saturday, please. There is no Friday game, so get your picks in as soon as possible.
I know the people are on the ball, but every now and then you get your stragglers.
Yeah.
The rule is straightforward.
Yeah.
You will be given, if you don't phone us, the highest rated
team in the league that you haven't used. Yeah.
Okay.
But this week...
So they're all on Luton.
Or Man United, just for the...
Anyway. All right, that was last one standing. Now let's get to the meat of the show, Coach.
Yeah, Stevie B. Well, he's gloating after their victory last night, quarter-final of the League Cup. And he's still in. And the weather's not bad in the UK. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Morning, guys. Yeah, unbelievable. Week 11.
Week 11.
How's the change in time suiting you, Steve, 2 hours earlier?
Yeah, it's lucky I remembered it was, we put the clocks back. Yeah. It's the middle of the night here at the moment. But, I'm on a high.
You're on a high. Well
still
done,
in the
Steve.
Still in the cup, still in the competition.
Steve, I didn't realise it was on. I watched about 20 minutes when it was 2-0 and you got the corner and made it 3-0. It looked like you played well.
Yeah, I mean, it was, Ipswich rotated. We both did, but I guess ultimately we just got a stronger squad. And to be fair, from the minute that we went 1-0 up, there was only one team in it. So, it could have been even more. But, a good away win against a team, who are riding high in the Championship.
Yeah. That was comfortable. I say, they're trying to play out from the back and they were 2-3-0 down. I couldn't work that out. But anyway, all Fulham are going to do is get through and away you go. I watched a lot of the West Ham-Arsenal game. West Ham played well, deserved victory, but Arsenal, I don't know, Steve, it looked like they weren't interested. Did you see much of it?
Well, I did. I had the Arsenal game on and then the United game on. He rested some of his key players, Arteta. West Ham put out a stronger side. Yeah. And from the moment that they scored, I mean, Arsenal were sort of pretty in the first sort of 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. Didn't create, had a few half chances, but the second half, they were pretty lackluster. And, you just think that if teams, this is a good opportunity to win a trophy. Fans want to win trophies. Yeah. And, I'm sure that the Arsenal fans would be disappointed. On paper, it's a game they could have got a result, but in the end, West Ham deservedly drew.
Well, the own goal was a joke, and the centre-half who had a blonde hairstyle was at Holding. Jeez, he looked an absolute clown with that hairstyle. But anyway, deserved victory. And I had a bet on the game. I went for bookings. I don't think there was more than one booking in a West Ham-Arsenal game. I couldn't believe it. That was shocking. Liverpool 2-1. Steve, it was 1-1 for a while. Then they got on top. I saw the goal this morning. It was a good goal, good strike from Nunes, but he mixed and matched his teams. Chelsea 2, Blackburn 0, comfortable. Everton, likewise, on a bit of a roll, beating his old team, Burnley. Steve, you've got to talk about Man United, Newcastle.
I want to hear about this, Steve.
What did you see?
Well, I thought that United, again, they're the holders of the competition. They had a really poor result and performance at the weekend. You'd have thought he'd have said, right, put his strongest team out and said, right, come on, let's put on a show. We're the cup holders. And he didn't. He rested a lot of his key players, and they just weren't up from it from the start. Newcastle, who rotated themselves, and there were players who have hardly played this season, and I thought they completely dominated. Second half United showed a bit more, and then in the end he brought all his big name guns on, but it was too late. Yeah. Bringing Rashford and Fernandes on when you're 3-0 down, it just seemed pointless. Yeah. And they look. There's definitely, as we said before, they're not playing as a team, and there's something not right there because tactically they were all over the place. And Newcastle, I'd say, won at a canter. They look very organised. It didn't seem to matter what team he puts out anyhow. They just played to a style and deservedly won. Could have won by more even.
Steve, I look at the back four, and the whole thing in me was summed up. United go on the attack, it breaks down. Dalot jogs back. Garnacho loses it. All he's got to do is foul the right back. He lets him go. The next guy should have fouled him. He lets him go. Lindelof dives and missed the tackle. And Dalot jogs back. He plays the ball into the left channel, and that The guy that doesn't stop galloping, the left-footed, I think he's a Paraguayan, hits it in the corner. And the difference between the two teams was the application. United, Manu, the youngster Medjri, should have got sent off in the first 20 minutes. The referee chickened out. You know, Casemiro lunges in. He was also lucky he didn't go off. And it's just a shambles. You know, he's trying to get rid of Maguire, McTominay and several of them. And now he's kissing their backside and praising them that they're saving his job. There's trouble in the camp. If United get stuck out in the Champions League next week, Steve, he'll be gone by the next international break.
Well, as I say, it's interesting. He's third favourite to go. You know, only behind
Sheffield United guy.
Sheffield United and the Bournemouth guy. Although he's just picked up a little bit after Bournemouth got their first win. Well, look, Fulham play United on. You know, we'll talk about that in a minute. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not they bounce back at all.
Stevie, I have a quick question for you. When I was over and I watched Man United play Copenhagen, and they got a late penalty, Copenhagen, and the cameras had Garnacho defacing the penalty spot with his boot. And I wonder, was there any flare up in the press about that afterwards?
I didn't really see anything afterwards. I mean, obviously it's pretty poor sportsmanship, and you know he should well have got booked, and you know they were within their rights to made sure the pitch was put back to the way it should be. But in the end, I don't think that could probably be used as the excuse why he missed. It was in the end it was a good save, but it is bad sportsmanship.
Bad sportsmanship. You know, because I read it on the paper in the train, the Metro. There's an article. Yeah. Garnacho completely should be censured. While they're all appealing with the ref for the penalty, he goes in the penalty spot and he's cuffing it with his boot, and the camera goes onto it in England. Yeah, look at this guy. So that's why I thought there might have been a bit more of an uproar, but probably not.
Yeah, well, I think in Copenhagen next week it'll be something to say from those Danes, but fortunate victory. The quarter-final draw, we've got Everton-Fulham. Steve could have had worse draws, but...
Well, it's true, but Everton had just started to play a little bit of... they won comfortably last night. You know, it's a shame that, we would have taken a home draw against anybody just to have... just to be at home again. We've never got beyond the quarter-final in the League Cup. And it's been a few years since we've done that to get to that position. So, look, it's good that we're still in it, but I think a tricky draw, and I think Everton will be favourites.
Yeah, no doubt. Chelsea, Newcastle, poor Newcastle, Man City at home, Man United away, now Chelsea away, Port Vale, Middlesbrough.
I think, look, Newcastle, say them and Liverpool for me are the two strongest teams left in. I don't think he'll mix and match. I think he'll put out a very strong side. The game isn't being played until the week before Christmas.
Yeah, 19th of December.
There's a lot can happen between now and then. Yeah. But I think both teams will put out a very strong side.
Yeah,
they'll need to.
Okay, and also just to bear in mind that the two semi-finals are 2 legs. So normally in January.
The semi-finals
are 2 legs, yeah. Anyway.
Port
Vale, where we've got a friend of ours, Ethan Chislett. I coached his dad at Stella, Donovan. He's coaching in London, yeah. So good luck to Port Vale, Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough, and Liverpool, West Ham. That should be a bit of a humdinger.
I mean, a tough draw for West Ham, having beaten Arsenal. Yeah. So Liverpool going to fancy their chances. Yeah. Port Vale, I've never been through to the quarterfinals before. I think Michael Carrick will be looking at that thinking, wow, they got the best draw they could get. Yeah. So I still think, even though they're at home, Port Vale, I think Middlesbrough should be favourites, assuming that he plays a strong team. Yeah,
he'll play a strong team. He's got no option. Anyway, on to the weekend, and the first came up. Fulham, Man United. Steve, is this a chance for Fulham to break the hoodoo against United?
Yeah, look, they could do it. Depends what United we're going to see. If it's the United that have been the disjointed United that have played in the last few games, then of course we've got a chance. But it's a Saturday lunchtime. You never quite know what you're going to get. I think there's behind the scenes at United. I think a lot of wrangling, and I think we're going to see a different United at the weekend. I think it'll be a tough game. I think we're capable of holding them, but we need to play well and have our strongest available side out.
Yeah, for me, hard to look at more anything than both teams to score. Wouldn't surprise me if this ends up in a draw, but I think it'll be a tight game either way. London Derby, Steve, Brentford, West Ham. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, up till a couple of weeks ago, I would have thought West Ham for me, because but all of a sudden Brentford have come back with a couple of good results, and good win at home and a good win at Chelsea, and I think that they could edge this. Although they didn't play during the week. West Ham obviously played a very strong side last night, but I think this will be a good game. I think there'll be goals definitely, and it could go either way. But I wouldn't be surprised if they cancel each other out.
Yeah, I'm looking at bookings. Have a bet there. Over 3.5 is just over 7 to 10. So that would be my say in a game. I think another game which would be very tight. Burnley, Crystal Palace, Steve. Burnley woeful.
Yeah.
Chance for Crystal Palace.
I think it is. Although obviously they're still without one or two key players.
Yeah.
Evidently Burnley were very poor last night.
Yes.
They hardly laid a glove on Everton. This is a huge game for them, because they are struggling now, Burnley. I mean, I think last week they might have hoped they could get something, and they got nothing. They can't afford to lose this. Palace are a hard team to beat. We know that. They'll work hard, and it's the sort of game that you could see one goal by either side could win it. I think, again, Burnley will have to raise their game. This is an opportunity for them.
Yeah.
I think they might get something, but again, I could see it being a draw.
Yeah, under 2.5 goals, 8 to 10. That would be my suggestion. Everton, Brighton, Steve. Brighton, poor result last week against Fulham. The goal they gave away was shocking. Everton played a strong team last night. You think they could suffer because of it?
Well, look. Evidently, Calvert-Lewin. There's a possibility he might not be fit for the weekend. They're saying. He just. He's a bit of a talisman for them when he plays, but he's just so injury hit. I think this could be a tough game for Brighton. I think that Everton just seem to have found a little bit of form, and I think they'll be buoyed by that result. Brighton, you're not sure what you're going to get at the moment. They could have won that game last weekend comfortably, and in the end, they gave away a bit of a sloppy goal. It was taken well by Polina. And Fulham had one or two chances straight afterwards. So I think this will be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if Everton hold them.
Yeah, I saw another game where a draw looked 26 to 10. How many will Man City score, Steve, against Bournemouth?
Well, you'd expect them to get a hatful. I know Bournemouth got their first win, which was desperately needed. I think they'll go to City knowing that a point would be an incredible result. But I think City, who didn't play this week, you might rotate a little bit, but because obviously they got Champions League, they want to get through that. I think City could win by 3 or 4. Yeah,
5-0. Man City to score over 4.5 goals, 28 to 10. Get on. To score over 3.5 goals was a 13 to 10. This is going to be an absolute hiding, whichever way you look at it. We're going to go over 2.5 goals, both teams to score 18 to 10. What a price. Anyway, on to the next game, Steve. We've got Sheffield United Wolves. Good chance for Wolves again?
I think it is. They played very well against Newcastle. I think when Newcastle went ahead, you thought this could be it. But actually, they finished the stronger side. Sheffield United can't buy a point, let alone a win. I mean, they were well beaten at Arsenal last weekend. And you just can't. I know that Wolves may have lost Neto for a little while, which obviously he really has been a key player. Yeah. But I still think Wolves will start as favourites.
Yeah, I'm going even money Wolves to score over 1.5 goals. I think Sheffield United will score. They're desperate. They've got to look at this home game, got to get something out of this, especially as Wolves are one of the teams near the bottom. So if they don't get anything like Burnley, they're in serious trouble. But I think there'll be goals in this. Had a look at, it was 8 to 10, both teams to score. So that would be my suggestion. But I've had a bet on Wolves to score over 1.5 goals at even money. Newcastle Arsenal, Steve. Second biggest game of the weekend. Which way you see it going?
Well, again, look, they obviously both rotated last night. Yeah. They'll put out their strongest available side. Newcastle got 1 or 2 injuries. Obviously, Isak is out. Arsenal without Jesus. I think, again, this could be a very close game. But, Newcastle at home are, just starting to find their feet. I wouldn't be at all surprised that they're going to, with the crowd willing them on, I think they're going to be all over Arsenal like a rash.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to stand up, Arsenal. I wouldn't, again, you can see them cancel each other out, but I just got a sneaky feeling Newcastle might just do this.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Arsenal. I just think they've got slightly better players. I know the vibe at St James's Park is great, but another game, Steve, I think this has got draw written all over it. Notts Forest, Aston Villa, Steve. Remember, was it last year, the year before, Forest beat Villa at home? Can it happen again?
Well, look, Villa are playing really well at the moment, and they are. I think maybe surprising people how well they're playing. Forest at home, they're talking about it being a bit of a fortress. Only 2 defeats in their last 17 Premier League games at home, which is the sort of form that definitely keeps you up. Villa are going to go there, on the back of some big wins at home, particularly thinking we could win this one. They really are pushing that top 4 place. So I fancy there to be goals, and I just think if Villa play as they have done, I think they're capable of getting a result.
Yeah, it's hard to trust Nottingham Forest. They 3-1 at home, but they get stuck in. They're an up and under team. They get stuck into you. I'll be having a look at the bookings avenue in that particular game, but got a fancy Villa of the 2 sides. Luton, Liverpool, another game, Steve. How many goals to Liverpool score?
Well, you'd expect them to get a few. I mean, Luton, to be fair to Luton, their game, they have a bit of a go, and at home they keep things tight. But Liverpool having sort of rested a few players last night, you'd expect them to go there and get the result that you think. So I think it'll be close, but I think Liverpool should still win by a couple.
Yeah, I think Liverpool will win by at least 3. And Liverpool to score over 2.5 goals is 8-10. The bet of the weekend, over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, no, 28-10. So I can't believe the price on. I think Liverpool, I don't see Luton scoring. Liverpool are starting to get it tighter at the back. Creativity-wise, they'll be all over Luton. Another game, 3-4-0. Big game of the weekend, Tottenham-Chelsea, Steve. How do you see it going?
Yeah, it is a bit. I mean, again, over the years, Chelsea have had the Indian sign over Tottenham, but I think things are changing a bit. I think Tottenham are going to go into that, having had a rest, and I think that they're going to fancy their chances. There's no love lost between them. I think Tottenham will start as favourites. You're not sure what you're going to get with Chelsea. I mean, they were poor against Brentford last week. They just didn't seem to score. Last night, they won comfortably against a mid-table Championship team. Yeah. I think Tottenham, if Tottenham play as they have done, I think they could win that.
All right, Paul. Confident mood?
Just because you get jinx sides.
Yeah.
I've been to 3 or 4 games against Chelsea. We've lost every time. Remember Song got sent off?
Rudiger, I remember. That's
Rudiger,
right.
Song. I've seen them. We've been on top. But I'm just hoping that because of the momentum, they're very good at home.
Yeah.
They play the ball around well. I'd take a draw, but because of the jinxing. But on formed one, got to say, the more consistent side is Tottenham.
I think 11-10 is not a bad price. Monday night should be a great game. There'll be plenty of action. I'm all over Spurs. I think it was 11-10 to win, but 12-10 Spurs to score over 1.5 goals. I think that's a certainty.
They will score goals, yeah.
On to the Championship, and the big 2 in the league play on Friday night, Steve. Leicester, Leeds United.
Will it be on the box?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's on telly. Yeah, no, I think it'll be a really good game. I mean, Leicester are having a fantastic run. I mean, they've won every game bar 1.
Yeah.
Leeds are just starting to, away from home, they score goals. I mean, at home they won comfortably last week, 4 goals in the first half. I think this could be a very close game, and wouldn't be at all surprised if Leeds get something. They're just starting to find some form with the players they got up front. Could hurt Leicester, and I know Leicester are going to be favourites, but this is going to be quite a good game. Friday night, it's on TV. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I fancy Leicester, Steve. They've only lost 1 game. That was at home to Hull City. They're going through the motions. My boy Harry Winks scored a brilliant goal at QPR. This is a one to me. I think they're coming up.
To win the league.
Yeah, I think the 13 wins out of 14. I think even money's a good bet, Steve. It was 16-10, Leicester City to win and over 1.5 goals. I think there'll be goals in this. Leeds do score goals, but I just think Leicester are slightly superior with the current squad. I'm all over Leicester at even money.
Steve, who's the boss at Leeds?
Daniel Fark, is it?
Daniel Farker, who
was
was at Norwich.
Norwich.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Done a good job. He lost a few players, and they've done a good job. They've come right, going well.
Yeah.
Thumped
I
Huddersfield.
think they'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I think they'll be second or third, one of the two positions. Birmingham City, Wayne Rooney, played 3, lost 3. Ipswich Town, Steve, you watched them last night. They rotated players. I thought 9 to 10 was a bit short, though, don't you think?
Well, look, I mean, they got booed off at by their fans, Birmingham already. So there's a sort of I understand there's sort of a bit of a hardcore of fans there that didn't want Rooney to come. I think they just felt it was a bit of a sideshow, and with the American owners bringing him in, becomes a bit of a circus. Look, at home you'd expect them to get something, but Ipswich in the league have been playing superbly. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact Leicester are having such an amazing run, they could be top themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that obviously good value odds for Birmingham, and they're going to have to play a lot better. But Ipswich must fancy their chances.
Yeah, I thought a little bit unlucky last week, Birmingham. That guy should have got sent off with the long ball. The keeper came and took him out. If that had happened, you never know. Even though they were 2-0 down, they may have got something. But Southampton, comfortable winners in the end. I think this has got draw written all over it, Steve. Bristol City at home against Sheffield Wednesday. Surely Bristol City have got to get back to winning ways?
Well, you'd think so. Obviously, they sacked Nigel Pearson last week.
Yeah.
I think they were expecting to do a bit better, and they've sort of faltered. Sheffield Wednesday got their first win of the season, but you still think that Bristol should be favourites, though.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday beat Rotherham. I thought Rotherham would score, but their away form was woeful. And even though Sheffield Wednesday, I think, was their first win, I just got to fancy Bristol City 11-10. I think they're good things. Huddersfield, Watford, Steve. I saw a bit of the game. Watford played really well last week. A little bit unlucky not to get the 3 points, but Huddersfield won't be easy going to Darren Moore's side.
No, not at all, though Huddersfield obviously came unstuck last weekend.
Yeah.
Were 4 down at half-time. I think Watford will fancy their chances of getting something.
Yeah.
Darren Moore, I think he's a good manager, but he's obviously struggling in these early weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if of the two, Watford could get something up there.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in that particular game. Game which will be goals will be Millwall, Southampton. They've come right, Southampton of late, Steve. Can you see them getting a result at the Den?
Yeah, I think they can do. I think that Millwall, having sacked Harry Rauer, not really putting up trees themselves. You just seemed a strange time to sack him, and since then, they haven't really done much. I think Southampton could go there and get a result. I think of the two, for me, they start as favourites. Yeah,
12-10, but it's 11-10 to score over 1.5 goals, and I think they're going to have to score 2 to win anyway. So I'd rather take the team goals only. Plymouth Argyle, who scored plenty of goals at home against Middlesbrough. This should be a high-scoring affair, Steve. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, look, Middlesbrough had that amazing run and then came unstuck last week.
Yeah,
rather surprisingly. Plymouth, you're not sure what you're going to get. I mean, they do score goals. They concede quite a few, though. I think Borough should start as favourites, but those are very good value odds for Plymouth at home.
Yeah, as I say, 5.5 to 10, both teams. So there'll definitely be goals in that particular game. But Middlesbrough on my bet last week stuck me away, so I can't trust them, even though 9 to 10 is a decent price. Steve, my boys Preston, got robbed at home against Southampton. Haven't won in 7. Can we get a result against Coventry?
I think they can. I saw Coventry play the other night. I was a bit disappointed. Yeah. They just look a little bit toothless at the moment. It's hard to believe Preston haven't won in 7 after that great early run. Yeah. I think that they'll start as favourites, though. I think it's because they haven't won that those odds are quite good value. Yeah,
I know. Southampton scored the last kick of the... Couldn't believe it. 2-1 up, 94th minute. We conceded. Draw 2-2. We got beat 1-0 at Hull City. Apparently we didn't play well, but we can't get a result at home. And we'll see us drop down the league very quickly. So... Who?
Troy Parrott.
Troy Parrott. No, I think he's gone. So he's gone elsewhere. Yeah. But no, my boys don't get a result, but I won't be backing them until we turn it round. Rotherham QPR. Steve, relegation battle here. Rotherham?
It really is now that obviously QPR sacked Gareth Ainsworth last week and brought in a guy from Spain who I don't really, Marty Cifuentes, who I hadn't heard of before.
Well, yeah.
You don't know, again, whether you get that new manager bounce. But Rotherham, a pretty game at home. I mean,
Yes.
they give the teams a good game, and I think they'll start as favourites.
Yeah, hard to trust either side. But Rotherham of the two sides for me. Stoke City, Cardiff City, Steve. Two teams going well. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, this should be a good game. I mean, Stoke had a really good win away at sort of Borough last week.
Yeah.
Cardiff have been playing well. I backed them and they won last week. I think that, again, could be a very tight game. Cardiff are just on a bit of a run for me. I think that they could go there and hold them at the very least.
Yeah, Stoke City, Bet365 guys, come right, but Cardiff won 6-9, so should be a close game. Swansea City, Steve, they cost me in midweek, but they went to Blackburn and won. I think they can get a result at home against Sunderland. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, they play some nice football. Sunderland are a bit up and down. You're not sure what you're going to get from them.
Yeah.
One week they play well, win, next week they lose. Swansea were picking up, one or two indifferent results, but at home, they play some good football. I think they might just edge that one.
Yeah, I fancy Swansea all day. And West Brom, going great guns, but Hull City are no mugs, Steve. This should be a close game. Yeah,
I think it will, but I think West Brom, I was very impressed with their performance at Coventry. I watched it the other night. They got some experienced players, a good one of the best championship managers. I think, for me, West Brom should win that.
Yeah, and I was wondering when they drew at home with Plymouth. And my Preston guys were telling me, bar Leicester City, that's the best side they've played, West Brom. But unfortunately, I can never catch them right. So, and Norwich Blackburn, Sunday lunchtime kickoff. There'll be plenty of goals, Steve, but which way are you siding?
Yeah, I mean, Norwich have been pretty disappointing, really, when you think of how they started. But I think they'll come right. Blackburn played during the week. They are a bit up and down, Blackburn, at the moment. Yeah. But I fancy Norwich of the two.
Okay. Steve, you've been on a roll 2 weeks, 2 for 2. Who you won this week?
Keep it going, Steve.
Yeah, tricky. Yeah, no pressure. I'm going to go for West Brom. I like the way they're playing. My best bet and my value bet, I'm going to go for Plymouth. I think at home, Middlesbrough played during the week, and I just fancy Plymouth to get something good odds there.
Steve, I'm on Getafe. They're my best bet in Spain. Monday night, my man Mason Greenwood's on fire. Scored a few during the week. And I'm going to go for Swansea City. Yeah, they cost me 2 weeks ago, but I hummed and hawed between Swansea and Crystal Palace. But I think it's all, if Burnley don't get a result, last chance saloon for them, they're in trouble. And these London teams coming up north to the nice warm weather, I think it's not going to be pleasant. But I've gone for Swansea to try and get me out of it. Steve, thanks as always, and last one standing. It's time to get studying.
Keep it going, Steve. You can go back to bed now.
I'm trying. Are you sure I haven't used Man City yet?
You haven't used Man City, yeah.
I wish I hadn't.
Wish you hadn't.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, Steve.
Cheers,
all the best.
Bye.
All right, that's Stevie Bram, Stevie B, our international pundit, man, and knows exactly what's going on. Let's go on to PSL, Budge. Results on Wednesday.
Yeah, I watched a bit of the games, Paul. Super Sport, 2-1, came back, 2-1 down. Good game. TS Galaxy, we had a cup game, TS Galaxy. So a little bit...
Super Sport Gavin.
Super Sport Gavin, came the second in the log. And Cape Town Spurs, Paul, I watched quite a bit of it. 2-0 up. How Pirates never came back and equalised, I don't know. But there was their first points. Yeah, where they fired Sean Bartlett last week.
From Cape Town
Spurs. They'd lost like 8 in a row, so he got fired after the 7th defeat. But their first points beat Pirates. Good luck to them.
Good luck to them. Right, but let's have a look at the fixtures coming up here.
Cup games this week, Paul. And there's a double header at Moses Mabhida, so let's hope the weather.
One after the other. Yep. Okay, keep me posted. Let's go Friday night's game.
Paul, Polokwane, the betting's come up. Polokwane, Stellenbosch. I actually backed Pirates to beat them the other day, but Polokwane play good football, Paul. They're sitting fifth. I think of the two teams, I like them, but there has to be goals. Steve Barker at Stellenbosch, he's not going to sit back.
Yeah.
And both teams to score. I haven't seen the odds yet, but that's my suggestion. But of the two teams, I fancy Polokwane. Orlando, the Richards Bay Pirates, Amazulu Golden Arrows. Paul, the 2 games, 80 Rand each at Moses Mabhida. Pirates.
Sorry, when you say 80 Rand each.
80 Rand to get in for both games.
Oh, that's good value.
Brilliant value at Mabhida on Saturday. So fancy Pirates, Paul. They won the previous cup. And Richards Bay, hard, they're well organised, but I don't see them holding Orlando Pirates. And Golden Arrows, I watched the Brethren beat Kaizer Chiefs last week 2-1. But Amazulu have come right.
Golden Arrows.
Yeah, Paul, they lose players and fights on. But Amazulu knocked Chiefs out in the previous round, and they drew 0-0 at home with Pirates. So they've come. Paul, 21-10. If ever there's a game that could go into extra time, both teams with the pressure, not want to get beat. It'll be under 2.5 goals, but you never know which way it could go either way. And I like Sekhukhune, Paul. They're a good cup team. This game's been played in Petersburg, so it's a neutral ground for both of them. So I like 14-10 Sekhukhune.
Is it a one-off?
It's a one-off, extra time penalties.
All right, Pudge, let's look at your selections.
Yeah, Paul, we kick off as usual with Gold Circle, score 6. And I've gone 5 win and draws in a banker. I've gone Man United win and draw at Fulham. Brentford to avoid defeat at home against West Ham United. Siding with Crystal Palace, win and draw at Burnley. Got a funny feeling Everton may get something out of their home game against Brighton. I'm chancing Wolves to win at Sheffield United. And I think Newcastle Arsenal's got a draw has got a draw in it, but I'm going with Arsenal of the two sides at 192. On to our other soccer 6 on Saturday. I'm going Man United win and draw at Fulham. Banking Orlando Pirates to be too good for Richards Bay. Everton win and draw at home against Brighton. Arsenal to avoid defeat at Sellers Park against Newcastle United. I think Golden Arrows are in better form of the two teams against Amazulu, and I've thrown the draw in Sekhukhune United versus TF Galaxy 192.
Right,
on to our score 10. I'm going Man United win and draw at Fulham. Brentford win and draw at home against West Ham United. Chancing Crystal Palace to win at Burnley. Everton win and draw at home against Brighton. Man City should outclass Bournemouth. On to our second page, I'm going for Wolves to win at Sheffield United. Ipswich Town win and draw at Birmingham City. As well as Southampton win and draw at Millwall. I don't see Swansea City losing at home against Sunderland. And I've got a funny feeling Arsenal will avoid defeat at Newcastle United. 256.
Right,
on to the soccer 13 for the weekend. I'm going Arsenal win and draw at Newcastle United. Everton win and draw at home against Brighton. Man City to be too good for Bournemouth. Brentford win and draw at home against West Ham United. 2 bankers, both away. Crystal Palace at Burnley and Wolves at Sheffield United. I'm going Ipswich Town win and draw at Birmingham City. Onto the second page, I'm going Watford, win and draw at Huddersfield Town. Southampton to win at Millwall. Middlesbrough, win and draw at Plymouth Argyle. Stoke City, win and draw at home against Cardiff City. And 2 home bankers to end with. Swansea City to beat Sunderland and West Brom to beat Hull City. 256. On to our Budgies bets.
Our favourite page.
Yeah, our favourite page, Paul, and just be careful what I'm talking here. Over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no.
Okay, so you want a 3-0 Man City.
3-0, 4-0 Man City at home to Bournemouth and Liverpool at Luton. And then I'm going
both quickly. Both
to win 3-0 like last week. Yeah, Man City won 3-0 and so did Liverpool. So it's 3-0 or 4-0.
Liverpool, Luton score?
Well, then we're gone. Unless they win 3-0.
Okay,
I don't see that. So over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no. And then Tottenham to beat Chelsea, 4,100 to 200. Our team goals only, and I've gone for the jugular, Paul. It's 28-10 Man City to score over 4.5 goals. I think that's a gift. Liverpool to score over 2.5 goals was 13-10. And Wolves and Tottenham both to score over 1.5 goals. For 5,200. Taking a chance, but that's what we're here for. Onto the championship, I'm going Leicester City to beat Leeds and over 1.5 goals. I'm going Bristol City to beat Sheffield Wednesday and over 2.5 goals in the Swansea, Sunderland and Plymouth Middlesbrough games, 2,600 to 200. Both teams to score sides are Huddersfield, Watford, Preston, Coventry, Stoke, Cardiff and West Brom, Hull, 2,300 to 200. Because there's the cup in South Africa, I've gone to Spain. I'm going Real Betis to beat Mallorca and Valencia to beat Granada. And Athletic Bilbao and Getafe both to score over 1.5 goals. They were fairly short in the betting and they're going to have to score 2 to win. So I've gone the goals route, 3,100 to 200. And our Collis King 6 on extra, I'm going Man City to beat Bournemouth, Liverpool to beat Luton, Tottenham to beat Chelsea, Real Betis to beat Mallorca, Getafe to beat Cadiz and Roma to beat Lecce. 3,500 at 200. So those are our plays for the week, Paul.
Excellent, Budge. I like a lot of those bets, and there's some good odds available.
Yeah, Paul. That over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, no. They haven't got to grips with that market yet, Paul. So,
okay, well, there we go. That is the story at the moment. With regards to last one standing, you've got to have it in
12 o'clock Saturday.
12 o'clock Saturday. Until next time, stay on side.